Hi, my name is Julie Lafleur and I am a mind-body wellness practitioner, and I work with people to help them release stress and feel more peace and more joy. And I'm here today to show you hockey parents an amazing technique to help relieve the stress that takes place during tryout season. It is an amazing mind-body technique that you can do anywhere, because I know that when our kids feel stressed or anxious, we also feel that, and maybe even 10 times more. And so here it is. Here's how it works. First, you identify how you're feeling. Am I feeling anxious? Am I feeling fearful? Am I feeling frustrated? That happens, right? Like, what am I feeling as it relates to this tryout season? And then where do I feel it in the body? Okay, and so some examples of that could be like, I feel that in my chest, or I feel it in my head, I feel it on my shoulders, my back, in my gut. And so really focus in on, how you're feeling and where you feel it in your body, okay? And so that might be a tough question for some people because we're so disconnected from our bodies these days, but just kind of close your eyes and take a deep breath and see if you can find where you feel that in your body. If you can't find it, no stress, just figure out kind of what you're feeling and start with that. Okay, and so I'm going to tap and show you the different points that you can tap on, and then I'm going to provide some language just to guide you. You can repeat after me, or you can insert whatever works for you, okay, and whatever reflects your situation. So figure out what you're feeling, where you feel it in your body, and then give it a rating. 0 to 10. 0 is like, I don't feel anything, and 10 is like, it's so intense I can't even handle it. So you're probably somewhere in between. The reason we rate is just so that we can feel at the end, we can rate it and see the progress that we've made. Okay, so the first point is tapping on the side of the hand. It's called the karate chop point. Okay, and I'm just gonna pick a scenario, and a scenario that I think is probably common during tryouts, but you again just inject what is true for you. Okay, and so even though I'm feeling anxious about my kids' tryout and I just want them to do well, and I can feel that in my chest, let's say. Okay, I feel this tightness in my chest. Really feel that. Say I'm okay and I'm safe right now. Okay, so you're kind of combining the truth of how you're feeling, but then really showing your body and your brain that everything is fine and you're safe. Okay, and again, even though I'm feeling anxious about my kids' hockey tryout, I just want them to do well and be happy. And I can feel that in my chest. I honor how I feel because it's completely normal. How does that feel? It kind of feels good to tell yourself you honor how you feel. We don't often do that. Okay, one more time. Even though I'm feeling anxious for the upcoming hockey tryouts, I just want my kid to do well and I want them to be happy. I can really feel that in my chest. Honor how I feel, and I have compassion for myself. Okay, how does that feel? If that doesn't feel true, if you don't feel like you have compassion for yourself, you can use your own words. I honor how I feel, it's completely normal, or I'm safe. All right, and then we go to the eyebrow point. It's kind of between the eyes here, and just breathe and tune into how you're feeling. You can tune into just where you're feeling it into the body. I think just all this tightness in my chest. Just stay with that as you're tapping. Side of the eye, right on the bone here. And breathe as you tune in to where you're feeling that kind of distress in the body. Ugh. All this anxiety in my chest. You can even just exaggerate it like, ugh. Just tune in under the eye. That's the next one. Breathe. All this tightness in my chest when I think about my kids' tryouts. I just want them to do well. I so badly want them to be happy. And I can feel that in my body. Under the nose, right here. Let's tap and breathe and focus in on, you know, whatever is happening in your circumstance as it relates to this. Focus in on where you're feeling in your body. And sometimes it moves. Sometimes it gets worse before it gets better. Because we're not really used to focusing in on the bad stuff. We usually just kind of bottle it up and tuck it down, or we don't have time to feel, so we just move on, or it feels gross. We don't really want to feel it, so we just kind of numb with something else, move on. Next is under the lip, just over top of the chin there, and breathe. So it's okay if it gets worse before it gets better, but just focus in on that anxiety when I think about my kids' tryout. All this tightness in my chest. Okay, and the collarbone part. So find the kind of U shape and go down an inch, out an inch. You'll find kind of like a meteor area there, and just tap there. This is my favorite spot. I could be here forever. Take some deep breaths. All this anxiety in my chest when I think of my kids' tryout. I just want them to be happy. I can really feel that in my body. If it's really intense, you could do what's called bilateral tapping, so you can tap one side at a time. Okay, next is under the arm, so about 4 inches from the armpit. And you can tap both sides, or you could just do one. Remember to breathe. All of this anxiety in my chest. If it's moved to say like your shoulders, then just follow it. All this anxiety in my shoulders. Sometimes it changes emotions. Maybe it goes from anxiety to like sadness or whatever it is. Just follow it. Just tune in to how you're feeling. Top of the head. Okay. Oh, this anxiety. Take a deep breath. Okay, and if it's still pretty high, just keep going. You want to get that number down to like 0 ideally. Just remove it from your body, or if you can get it to like 1 or 2, then you can start to introduce some positivity. All this anxiety in my chest, inside of the eye. The reason we go talk about the depleting emotion, because in our society there's a lot of like, well, shouldn't we be positive? Aren't we like tapping in negativity? But what we need to do is we need to honor the truth of how we feel, because if we just start to go too positive, our body and our mind knows that that does not feel true and it feels incongruent. And so we're tapping on acupressure points in the body to help release that negativity. So we just have to feel it. It doesn't feel great, but we got to feel it to release it. Emotions are just energy in motion, and so we just gotta let it move. Okay, under the lip, all this anxiety in my chest or wherever you're feeling it. If you get down to like a 0 or a 1, you can start to introduce, I'm open to feeling good about tryouts. You know, I'm open to letting that anxiety go. Right? How great would that feel? Collarbone. It would feel so good to let that anxiety go. Deep breaths. Follow what it feels like in your body. If your chest feels great and the tension is gone, I'm open to feeling good about tryouts. Under the arm, I'm open to feeling great. I'm open to releasing all of that anxiety. I'm open to letting it go. Top of the head, I'm open to letting it go. I choose to let this anxiety go. All right, take a deep breath. Shake all that out. All right, I hope that you feel great, that you feel better. If you're still feeling some of those depleting emotions, just go back and do some more tapping. Just do some more rounds, okay? Don't expect it to go away in 1 or 2 rounds. This could be, you know, it could take a few times, absolutely. And so I hope this video was helpful and useful, and share it with others if it is. And you've got this, your players got this. I believe in you guys, and enjoy. Take good care.